At the properties are just the beginning for Fenton Township contractor Luke Birchmeyer. We found he could be facing jail time, accused of forging a government document. But even more troubling, some residents question if his buildings are safe. From the outside, Harbor Landings in Fenton Township looks like a nice place to live. Driving through the front of the neighborhood, the houses look solid and the lawns are green. But a little deeper in, construction is everywhere. That construction has led to potholes, blight, and noise. It's gotten so bad, neighbors have complained and complained and complained. While there are homes built by other construction companies in the neighborhood, TV5 used the Freedom of Information Act to access nearly 100 documents attached to one contractor and more than a dozen homes on Harbor Landings Drive. Luke Birchmeyer and his company, Cool Hand Property Development, LLC.
All right, we'll now go on the record in the matter of Luke Ronald Birchmeyer.
Birchmeyer and his attorney recently appeared virtually in district court for arraignment on a charge of forgery. Birchmeyer pleaded not guilty to the misdemeanor charge. TV5 attempted to contact Birchmeyer. Luke Birchmeyer! And after our texts, calls, and visit, he declined to answer our questions. His attorney declined our request for a comment.
It's my opinion, my client has no involvement whatsoever with whatever happened.
Court records show Fenton Township accused him of forging a certificate of occupancy, a government document, for a home on Harbor Landings Drive. And this isn't the first time Birchmeyer has been in court. His attorney said as much to the judge.
I don't like seeing you with Luke Birchmeyer because it seems that I see you a lot with Luke Birchmeyer, and it's not something I want to keep doing.
Court records show more than a dozen civil matters tied to Birchmeyer. They range from working without a permit, to blight, to parking in a handicap spot. But this is the first issue with a certificate of occupancy.
A certificate of occupancy is issued by a municipality, and it's a document, it's a government document basically, that says that the property is basically habitable.
Andrew Kincannon is a real estate attorney with Smith, Bovell, and Saginaw. He says C of Os, as the certificates are commonly known, are important to lease or mortgage a home. He gave a hypothetical example.
So let's say you're doing a 10-unit condominium and you have to have 8 done by such and such a date in order to get additional financing for condos 9 and 10. Then you need that certificate of occupancy. So it incentivizes, in certain circumstances, scenarios where people are going to do whatever they have to try to get one.
This all had to be tore up.
A very bad builder that's gotten away with bloody hell for everything that he's built.
Sue Rote moved into her condo 2 years ago.
I feel violated. I feel very violated.
Her problems range from the annoying to the flat-out gross.
This had raw sewage that came out.
She says 2 open pipes in her front lawn spewed raw sewage.
I had to leave my residence for 10 days because I couldn't even flush the toilet, and they had to go 19 plus feet deep of the front yard, and it was up to almost the rooftop.
And she says the list goes on. Flooding in her basement, a hole in her floorboard, cracked floor beams, spotty insulation, doors that don't seal, shelves installed at an angle, electricity that shorted randomly. So when you walk on this floor, what do you think?
I think it was done totally wrong. They didn't do it properly.
He put lipstick on a pig, and he's going to continue to do it, and I can't stand it.
To add insult to injury, Rote herself is a realtor.
I've been a realtor for 26 years. If I would have sold this to a client, I would have lost my license.
Rote said she spent about $1,000 on repairs.
You walk in a place, you think the cement's good. You think the roof's good. Especially if it's a new build, you think it's good.
TV5 spoke with 5 other residents in the Harbor Landings area, some of whom declined to speak on camera for fear of alienating Birchmeyer or their own neighbors, but all said they had problems with their houses after moving in. Those issues added up. Floors that aren't level and move around, concrete patios redone multiple times, glass doors that don't lock, doors that don't shut without a nail through them, nails holding up floorboards, cement splattered on doors, basement steps without a handrail.
Don't buy from him. Don't buy a house that he built. Definitely.
Michelle Osland and her husband moved into their house in 2019. They declined an inspection, a decision they now regret.
My husband said, it's a new build, you know, and he looked, and everything looked great, you know, so I didn't opt to do one.
Their issues started with the AC not kicking on, then cracks in the sidewalk, carpet separating from the floor, and damage to the driveway and steps to the front door. She tried reaching out to Birchmeyer.
Initially, in the beginning, he would call me and say, oh, call this person, call the electrical, call So I had to do all the follow-up calls myself.
Oslin said she ended up paying more than $2,000 for insulation and $800 to fix the AC unit. She knows down the line she'll need to replace her roof, driveway, and sidewalk. Thousands of dollars in expenses. In hindsight, she wishes she got that inspection.
So important to have that done, because if I would have known that, then definitely wouldn't have bought it.
If convicted of a misdemeanor over the allegedly forged certificate of occupancy, Birchmeier could face up to 90 days in jail, 2 years probation, and a $500 fine. To add to his legal troubles, a Harbor Landings resident is also suing him for $6,000. Trevor Sahaki, WNEM TV 5.